Good morning, grade 7s. Welcome back to another Indonesian history video as we look into our last kingdom, the first Muslim kingdom of Indonesia's history. So you can see the timeline listed here again. As you know, we have already looked at the first Buddhist Muslim kingdom, or Buddhist Hindu kingdom, the greatest kingdom, and now the first Muslim kingdom. And why is this important? Well, right now, 90% of Indonesians claim to be Muslims, and that's what's on their identity card. So as we learn about this, it is the beginning of the start of a religion that has taken hold and shaped this country's culture, history, and many other things since about the 800s. And so, without any further ado, we will begin our study and learning about the Perlak kingdom. As we continue with our learning on the first Muslim kingdom, again, we go to our same questions. This is important. Whenever you start researching, whenever you start presenting, whenever you're doing anything for IS, you always start with your guiding research questions. This is what takes you to the next level of being a student, of having everything that needs to be there, and allowing you to tell a complete story. And so these are what we have modeled for you in this unit, but now you will be using similar questions as you begin the next part of this unit. But without any further ado, who was the first king? Who was the most famous king? Where was it located? How far was its reach? Why was it so powerful? Or why was it not so powerful? When did it fall? Why did it fall? How did it fall? And those are the questions. So, the coming of the Islamic influence to Indonesia. As many of you guys know, we remember the Silk Road from our study of ancient China last year, and ancient Greece and ancient Rome and their role in it. However, the Silk Road was a trading route between China and the West. So it combined the East with the West with the goods, the silk, the valuable cloth from China. But it wasn't just Chinese clothing. It was spices, tea, wood, resources like gold and silver, and things would be traded along these routes. Now, you can see it's not just a road. It's not one road like the Tol Jagorawi going from place to place, but it was a whole bunch of different routes that were both land and sea, and it wasn't just like this is the path. It was people all along the way. And one of the best ways to describe it is it's a lot like Gojek, right? Gojek is just another middleman, right? You buy food from McDonald's, Gojek will buy it for you and deliver it to you for a small increase in price, right? And that's what happened here with the Silk Road. Silk would come from China. Somebody would deliver it from wherever they start to the next person they deliver to, and so they would just go back and forth through their own stretch. And as goods went from China all the way to Jerusalem, these goods would increase in price. They would become more valuable as they eventually reach the western part of the world at the time. And so as things move, people need to move them, and so there was a lot of trade going on, but not just trading of goods, but also of ideas and religions and philosophies and things like that began to spread. And so as people are moving, the religion of Islam started about maybe 200 years before the Perlak kingdom started, Muhammad in a cave. And the spread of Islam was greatly attributed to the Silk Road, as Muhammad himself was part of a trading company, and so they would go back and forth as ideas spread, and religion, just like Christianity, just like Hinduism and Buddhism spread through the Silk Road, Islam did as well. And so as you can see in the map, the Perlak kingdom is down here, okay? And it would have been trading with along the Silk Road as a means of like water transportation. So coming for spices, these boats would come for spices and then leave with whatever wood, and we'll get to that part later. But this is the Silk Road, plays an important part of bringing Islam and the ideas to Indonesia. So the Perlak Kingdom is located right here. This is the island of Sumatra. So if I go back one, so in here, okay, the Perlak Kingdom. Why there? It's in the strait between like what is Singapore and Malaysia now, and the island of Sumatra, right? In here, the Malacca Strait. And in there, that would be the route that boats would come and go, going from China to India to other places. And so the trade routes would be increased there, and so it offered the opportunity for people to trade. Traders coming from other places, landing on the shores, and bringing their religion. Located at the uttermost region on the northern part of Sumatra. This is important because Sumatra is a huge island with lots of resources and people at the time. It was more populated than Java at the time, but it was resource filled. It had a certain wood, okay, Perlak wood. So we just learned about the Majapahit Kingdom. It was named after the fruit, the bitter fruit from the Majapahit Valley. This kingdom is named after a wood that grows, well-known wood, and people would be buying it. So the reason why people came to Perlak, where it is now, is for the Perlak wood. And so the quality and the market for the wood is what brought people there, which brought traders and people who were Muslim to settle there, marry the local people, and soon the influence of Islam began to spread from there. And obviously, as you trade, you develop wealth, and as you develop wealth, you develop power. As you develop power, you develop kingdoms or empires, and so has all the right ingredients for a kingdom. I'll move this down again. Okay, the Muslim influences at the time. So they're trading the Perlak wood, valuable, people want it. Muslim merchants, traders come from India, Persia, Arabia. They come, they're sitting there on the beach like, oh wow, I should stay here. It's a pretty nice place, this Perlak, right? On Sumatra, they stay. They marry the local girls. When a Muslim is married, especially at that time, if the husband is a Muslim, the wife becomes a Muslim, and their kids are Muslims. And so it's marriage is what really began to spread the Muslim faith throughout Indonesia, and as that grew, the influence of the religion and the culture began to spread as well, and to the point where the area became Muslim. However, we'll find out later that there are different denomination type things in Islam. They were both present there and actually played a huge part in the history of it. So artifacts that prove the existence of this kingdom is there are manuscripts written by, I'm not even going to try to say that one. You can read it. Manuscripts, there are grave sites. There's more manuscripts written by, that's an even longer name, but there's also the genealogy of the Perlak and the Pasai kingdom by the Sirida Abniya Sayyid Habib Safardun. There, I tried one. Okay, so those are artifacts that prove the existence. Another artifact that proves it is they found the grave sites of the kings with their dates, things like that. And so now you can actually go and you can visit. When I was in Sumatra, we went to something similar to this, but it wasn't for the Perlak kingdom. It's another kingdom where we visited the grave of a former king. And artifacts that prove the existence. Now, the kings. The first king, as well as the initiator of the kingdom, the Sultan, I think that means King Sultan Aliduddin Sid Mulanya Abdul Izushna, started it, reigned for about 24 years, conceded to the new king, who was Sultan Aliddin Sayyid Malibdi, 1864 to 1888. Which eventually led to the next king, which was Sultan Aliddin Sayyid Mulai Abisaya until 1913. And this is about the end of the first this kingdom. It wasn't a very long kingdom, but there are two sects, two divisions, two groups in the Islam faith, and there was hostility between the two. There's still hostility today, however, it was there then as well. The Shia and the Sunni are two major Islamic denominations. They were in conflict between the two beliefs, and they were all part of the same Perlak kingdom. As they had conflict between the two, they resulted in the separation of this kingdom, and so one moved to the coast. That was the Sunnis. The Sunni moved, kept the coastal land. The Shias kept the coastal lands, while the Sunnis moved inward. This is significant because, one, if you are along the coast, you control the trading, right? The economy comes through you. And then the Sunnis moved inland, however, they weren't as susceptible to being attacked. And so they each had their own king, a divided kingdom based off of religious beliefs, not upon kingdoms or policies or things like that. Then there's the Syria-Wijaya kingdom, which we know eventually led to the Majapahit kingdom. But they came and they invaded. They're extending their reign, their dominance over the area. And in 1986 AD, the Syria-Wijaya kingdom attacked the Perlak area. The Shiite king was killed during the attack. And the coastal part of the kingdom eventually fell. The whole separated regions were then reunited under the Sunni king. So the people who were attacked, their king was killed, they were left without a leader, and they returned and reunited the kingdom under the Sunni's king, that last one, Abd ibn Midyah, whoever he was, reigning from, and he ended his reign in 1988. You can go back to that slide, 988, and then a new king. Again, that's the bell. The fall of the Perlak kingdom and the merging of the Pasai. So, 1267 AD, the Pasai kingdom emerged. It was more powerful and influential than the Perlak. This is usually due to trade and the size of the population, things like that. And so as it grew, it was more powerful and influential. And what often happened during this time was, instead of you allowing them to come conquer your kingdom, you say, we will bow, or we will acknowledge you as the king in this area, just don't kill us. So an intimidation factor, the Chinese did it, the Majapahit did it, and so Pasai kingdom extended their influence over the Perlak. The Selatan Malik Abdullah Aziz Shah was the last king of the Perlak kingdom before it was merged with the Pasai, which was ultimately the end of the Perlak kingdom, and then the Pasai kept on expanding their kingdom. There will be more for you to learn there. Thank you. I know it's not perfect when I give these updates or lessons on Indonesian kingdoms. However, there's another list of other Muslim kingdoms that you might be able to choose when you do your project. So the Sumadera Pasai kingdom, the Damat kingdom, and the Mataram kingdom. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you in class.